Rutgers men's basketball back at it Monday night, 7 p.m. at the Rack, airing live on BTN Plus, taking on St. Peter's. Let's get into the matchup initially, then we'll talk about some keys for Rutgers. St. Peter's right now, KenPom number 216, started the year 239, gave Seton Hall all they could handle. Opening night, lost 57-53, jumped all the way up to 211 in KenPom, then just lost to number 128 UMass Lowell on Friday on the road, 81-74. UMass Lowell, a solid mid-major team. So they have 2 single-digit losses to start the year. Offensively, they have not been very good. They do a few things very well so far. They've been rebounding the offensive glass at a very high rate, 36%, which is top 100 nationally. They're getting to the foul line quite a bit, 45% of the possessions. That's 75th nationally. They're shooting from behind the arc at a decent clip, 34.8%. That's above average, or about above average for the season so far. And but they're turning the ball over a ton, including non-steal turnovers, which means they're just making a lot of unforced errors. And they're not shooting particularly well from two, under 45% from 2-point range. And then on the defensive end, although they're defending the 2-point rather well, they're fouling a ton. Their opponents getting to the foul line 70% of possessions. That's insane. So pretty distinct kind of specific matchups here in this game. I mean, they're not particularly big. They do have 4 players back from last year's NCAA tournament team. Marcus Randolph, their 6'5" senior guard. He's pretty good. They have Armani Ziegler, 6'4" sophomore, back, as well as a big man, Mohamed Sow, 6'9" junior, and Brent Bland, 6'3" junior. Some of these guys like to shoot the rock from behind the arc. For this team, like I said, 47% of their attempts are from behind the arc right now. Last season, Randolph shot 43.8% from 3. That was 47th nationally on 96 attempts. Armani shot 61 attempts, 37.7%. So they could both hit it. Bland shot a ton from 3 last year, led them in attempts at 119, only made 31.1%. And then Sow shot 33 from behind the arc for a big man, mostly inside, of course. Pretty good free throw shooter for a big man. So will be interesting to see. They only have 2 guys over 6'5" on the roster. Is that true? Yeah. Sow 6'9", Roberts is 6'10". Everyone else is pretty much between 6'3" and 6'5". They do have a 6'8" guy, Jaquel Morris, hasn't played much so far. So Rutgers, of course, is going to have the size advantage in this game. They're going to have the physicality factor. Although, St. Peter's traditionally is a pretty tough low major team, and we know their success with Shaw Holloway, and obviously last season, Bashir Mason getting them to the NCAA tournament, winning the MAC tournament title. So for Rutgers, it really is about just taking care of what you can control. And, what we want to see in game 2 is building consistency on what they were able to show in game 1. No word on Ace Bailey. He's, program put out. He's day-to-day. That makes him questionable for Monday's game. So we'll see what happens there. The availability report comes out a few hours before tip-off, 7 o'clock Monday. But I think in terms of what Rutgers did well in the opener on last Wednesday against Wagner, they were able, after a little bit of a slow start offensively, 2 of 8 from the field, they really took control of the game, and that was with their defense. They went on that 20-0 run, and I think that's what you want to see in terms of them building an identity defensively. This team, in terms of their size and their ability to pressure the perimeter, want to see how effective they are in that. They did a pretty good job of not fouling in that opener. So they're going to have for a team that forces a lot of turnovers, you have to expect that Rutgers is going to put a lot of on-ball pressure. So JaMychal Davis, Jordan Durkak, expect them to be early and often out there defensively, I think, in this game. And then it's really just about Dylan Harper and JaMychal Davis, I think, taking another step forward as facilitators for this offense, combined for 9 assists in that game against Wagner. And I think that is really important to see. And then 5, right? I mean, is Lathan Somerville going to prove again that he is deserving of the most minutes at the 5? We hope so, because he looks so promising in that opener. By the way, I have a whole 2-minute analysis video on his play, about a minute and a half, on my YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out, from last week. So can he establish himself even more so And then, shooting wise, Rutgers was not great from three, but I love their shot profile in that game. Just in terms of only taking, the majority of their shots are from behind the arc or at the rim. They shot very efficiently at the rim, 18 of 22 in that game from layups and dunks. So can they continue that against another team that's kind of undersized, that does, rebound well? It's going to be, listen, St. Peter's not going to be intimidated. They're going to play hard. So Rutgers has to match that intensity and really, put the issue out of doubt. They're going to have a ramped up crowd once again. And I think you just want to see this team build some cohesiveness on the court. Obviously, missing Bailey is disappointing in the sense of roles are a little bit different when he's there, right? Shot selection, shot attempts, all that stuff. But you play with the guys you have. If he doesn't play, Rutgers did build some kind of rapport, I thought, with the rotation that they played in the opener. You like to see Tyson Acuff get some more run and start to build a little bit of rhythm in his game. I did like what I saw with him in the opener. Obviously, his shot's still kind of off and he's rusty, but he had that great full court length pass in transition that led to a Dylan Harper layup. You could tell he's a polished veteran. I thought he defended, in certain sets. I thought he looked like he was committed. He looked like he was into the game. So that was good to see. And this team, just has a lot of scoring options. Martini and Hayes did exactly what we had hoped they would do from three, 2 of 4 of each, and just combining for 20 points. I mean, that type of production would be huge on a night-to-night basis. So a lot of questions still with this team. Exciting that they're going to be back on the court against St. Peter's on Monday night. Just looking at Jeremiah Williams played well in that opener. How can he build off of that? So I think also just in terms of the way they were moving the basketball in that second half was tremendous. They had 13 assists on 16 field goals in that game. And St. Peter's really, if they can just move that ball on offense in the half court, if they can get out and run in transition, it's going to be hard for St. Peter's to keep up with them. And I think the biggest thing is you're looking for Rutgers just take control of this game, impose their will as early as possible. Don't mess around and find out. We saw what Seton Hall did with Fordham. You saw what Villanova did with Columbia. So we don't want to get in that type of situation. I really don't think they will. Also, obviously, metrics, it helps to have blowout wins. You're going to have your home crowd there. But I think also just in terms of this is going to be a screen-heavy offense, just in terms of getting playmakers like Dylan Harper, scoring opportunities to be able to create off the screen. So Jeremiah Williams operates well off the screen. Ace operates well off the screen. Acuff, all these guys. So I think, again, this team is physical on the defensive end. Can they bring it in game 2? And then offensively, with all the screening, with the ability to transition, you can wear defenses out. So that's what I want to see in this game. Game 2, Rutgers, St. Peter's. Again, it's the only game on Big Ten Plus. So you have to check it out there. I'll obviously have rapid reaction after the game. Rutgers, number 25 in the AP poll, in the initial poll for the season. We'll see what they are in week 2. No reason for them to drop out. And they'll probably, move up a spot or 2. Not that it really matters. What matters is how this team looks on the court. That's what I'm looking for. And I think you just want them to continue to kind of take a step forward. It was a solid opening night performance, and you want to see them but continue to build their identity, just in terms of an offense that, can score in multiple ways, share the basketball, defense that brings intensity, that can force mistakes and capitalize on it on the offensive end. I think all of those things are important. Oh, free throw line. We want to see Rutgers do a lot better from the free throw line. Again, Dylan Harper struggled in game 1. Was just 1 of 6. I think it was really just getting his legs underneath him in a college basketball game. I think he'll be much better in this game. And I think Rutgers as a whole will shoot better. They only shot 57% in the opener. I really believe this is a team that can shoot in the low to mid 70s for the season from the foul line. So they're going to get to the line a lot based on the last 2 games with St. Peter's. So, attacking the rim, getting to the foul line, drawing contact, and converting at the line. That can make this, a blowout for sure. So how Rutgers handles that part of it too is really important. And be back with you after the game. Thanks so much for listening and watching. I'll be here for the entire season. If you know me, you know I believe this stuff. And I'll do previews and recaps for every game as I do for football. And wanted to mention women's basketball real quick. Had a now 3-0, beat NJIT on Sunday, 94-84. Destiny Adams, former McDonald's All-American. What a game for her. 35 minutes, 10 of 20 from the floor, 16 of 21 from the foul line, 36 points, 22 rebounds, including 14 offensive rebounds, 2 blocks, a steal, and assist. Huge game for her. Also, Kiyomi McMillan, the 5-star, had a breakout game, 25 points and 11-22 from the floor. Also had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Rutgers women's basketball off to a 3-0 start. Good for them. Rutgers women's soccer did lose in the Big Ten title game. Obviously, wear and tear from that semifinal. Come from behind effort, advancing off the shootout. USC played a player down for over 60 minutes, and it was not close. Lost 5-0 in the Big Ten final. But NCAA Tournament Selection Committee announcing the tournament on Monday. Rutgers women's soccer has a good chance to host a first-round game and look to make a run in the NCAA tournament. So more to come there. I'll keep you posted on all that. But Rutgers men's basketball back at it Monday night, 7 p.m., St. Peter's at the Rack, BTM Plus. I'll talk to you after the game. Thanks so much for listening and watching once again here at the Scarlet Faithful podcast.